So welcome everybody. Thank you for coming and taking a little break on your Sunday. I can find my pocket. Okay. I'm sure Chantel will come out and join us. A couple of things. So I've given you a stack of handouts, as you can see, and we'll kind of go through some of those as we go. My biggest challenge, as Margot knows, and Elka, for me to wrap this up in an hour. But I know there's questions, and Chantel is like so good at, talking to people and getting the word out. And the more that she was talking, she was realizing that I don't think people really know what Feng Shui is. And maybe that's why they're not coming to the workshops or why they're not showing any interest. So,
or they think they know.
Yeah, or they think they know. Like Margot thinks she knows. So that's why I created What the Feng Shui, right? To kind of give you a little taste today. I want to explain enough to show you the layers of it, the complexities of it, and then let you know that the different opportunities that you have to explore Feng Shui, whether it's one-on-one with me or in a classroom setting, because part of my role as a Feng Shui practitioner is just educating the masses, right? Just getting the word out there. Because it's not really until people sit in a class when they're like, oh my gosh, I got to work with you, or I need you to come look at my house, or whatever. So the big black and white handout, that's kind of a generic handout that I co-created with the International Feng Shui Guild, which is a guild I've been a member of since 2005 or 6. They have members all over the world, and this just kind of lays out some of the basics, okay? Everybody filled out the yellow slip. That's for the drawing here. We'll do in a little bit for the money tree. I also am going to send around a sign-up sheet. You don't have to put down your email address if you're not interested in getting emails from me. The emails that you would get from me are not as often as they should be. They're articles, they're tips, they're announcements of events and that kind of thing. I'm not about bombarding you. There's enough competition. There's enough going on. So the other thing that's on this list is we're kind of doing a little bit of searching and trying to figure out what you guys want. Like there's even a section on here for you to tell us what days work the best for classes. Nothing worse than scheduling a class that people are interested in, but everybody's got something going on, a football game or something else going on that day. So indicate if it's during the day or the evenings, what day of the weeks work good for you. That would help us and both of us out in how we're putting classes and stuff out there. The other thing we have down here is if you're interested in a couple of the workshops that we're thinking about putting together. The one we have going on already is the purple flyer that you have, and that's an ongoing workshop. We meet once a month. Elka has been along on the ride at that, as well as Margot, Chantel and her mother and her son. We meet once a week, and you can jump in anywhere. You can just pop in for the main class that you're interested in. Just do one out of the 9, but there's a series of 9, and the idea is to keep repeating those so that eventually you've fulfilled all of those areas of your life or your home. As you can see, the one that's coming up next on the 14th is the money sector. So it's working on your abundance and your self-worth and maximizing what you offer and find value in what you offer and who you are, and then look at that space in your home in its relationship to how you feel about your value. So that's coming up. And then we're thinking about maybe an ongoing meditation class. You just pop in for an hour once a week, maybe a different kind of meditation each week, because there's not just one way to meditate. We're thinking about collaborating on a chakra class, possibly even bringing Sapeti in, where we understand the body and the emotional influence, how our emotions manifest physically if we don't deal with them. And then Chantel and Sapeti would give us some physical things that we can do to help shift those emotions so that we're working the whole body, not just the physical or just not going to a therapist or venting to our friend, but we're doing all the work. And so that I'll send that around so you can fill that out. Like I said, if you don't want to get emails, don't put your email address down. Just write, hell no, leave me alone. So that class right now I've got it open until the end of the day tomorrow. So I did another one of these workshops on Tuesday. So Tuesday, it's open to you and that Tuesday class, and I have it open. Tonight I will send you a link. If you sign up for that class by the end of the day tomorrow, you get the workbook for free. And this is the workbook that guides us through that. And the workbook is $45. And so we go through one chapter at a time. So this was the first. And there's a lot of, we do guided meditations, we do an art project, we have food. We really do a lot of self-reflecting about our space. We talk about it, we share about those different things. So this workbook was created you can buy it and then work on all the other sectors by yourself if you want, or just use it at, each time that you come to class. But from your email address, I will send you that link, okay? And you'll get an email from Firehorse66. So check your junk folder for that. Okay, so if you don't mind, just to get everybody present, if we can just go around the room and just introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry. I'm Gabby.
Hi, Gabby.
I'm Anakin. I'm Joel.
I'm Jenny. I'm Margot. I'm Adonia. I'm Savannah. I'm Chantal.
That's Doug, my husband. I'm Tina. And I have to look at a list because I do Chinese astrology. That's a part of what I do. It's my portal in. I will not do a home consultation or a business consultation without looking at every member of the family or every member of the team's Chinese astrology chart. Because that allows me to see who you are specifically, what your weaknesses and your strengths are, so that when I make Feng Shui recommendations, they're specific to you. Because everything is energy. And so we want to make sure that we're matching energies. You can sit here or here, Laura. Okay, thank you. So introduce yourself real quick. We just did introductions.
Oh.
Just say your name.
I'm Laura.
Hi, Laura. So some of you know me from class. Well, all of you, but we met in a weird way. We just connected on Facebook and we're like, hey, let's meet. And we went for a walk around Daybreak Lake. It was a beautiful day and lots of good conversation.
Yeah.
Was that a couple years ago?
It was, yeah.
It seems like it. So anyway, Feng Shui for me, I was thinking about it on the way over here. It's like a healthy obsession, if that even exists. Is that an oxymoron? It's not just a hobby. It's just not something that I do on the side. It dictates how I see the world. It dictates the choices that I make for myself and my family and my business. It's how I try to relate to people. It's such a complex system that it just informs my world. And I'm so grateful about the teachers that have shown up for me. I started my spiritual journey about 25 years ago and was exposed to Edgar Cayce. Remember the book that came out by Shirley MacLaine, Out on a Limb? And she started talking about reincarnation. That just kind of opened up, oh, people are talking about this. And so that really propelled me and pulled my husband and I actually out here from Minneapolis, St. Paul, where I just graduated from art school, out here to the valley, where I started meeting really spiritual New Age people, believe it or not. And that was 25 years ago. Since then, I met and studied under a Buddhist meditation master for 4 years, teaching esoteric meditation practices. And I did all kinds of other retreats, co-facilitated retreats and events with another mentor of mine. And then in 2005, I found my Feng Shui master. And she took me under her wing, and because of all of her studies overseas and with the certain masters, really was available, put herself available to me to I was like a baby bird, feed me, and she just would feed me. And to this day, I still consider her family. And I just take whatever I can get, and she's willing to give whatever I want in a very reciprocal, loving kind of way. I also, right now, this is my 5th semester at SLIC, at the community college in the Taylorsville campus. I teach for the interior design department, Feng Shui. I'm teaching them that it doesn't matter how beautiful your space is. If you and your husband argue in that room, or your child can't sleep in that room, or the room can't stay clean, you're not serving your client. Beautiful space doesn't matter. It needs to function. The people need to love it. They need to feel good in it and thrive in it. So that's kind of my mission at Slick there. I don't know how much longer I'll be there, but I have a horse in my chart and I get bored. So anyway, that's me kind of in a nutshell. In 2012, my Feng Shui master retired and she gifted me her school. And which was a total, like, oh, no. Are you sure? And inside I'm going, yes, Tina, this is what you've been wanting. So since then, I've restructured her curriculum and I train and certify Feng Shui practitioners from all over. I have them fly in to do the 5-day intensive. I have a lady in Australia that we just meet on Zoom that I'm working through the program. It's a 60-hour program with a 3-month mentorship. I take it really seriously because we're going into people's homes and in their businesses when they're really struggling. Life is really sucking. Somebody's health is deteriorating, or a job is lost, or a home is going into foreclosure, or there's a communication breakdown. Typically, people are struggling when I meet them. And I take that very seriously, but I also bring light into that to reveal to them, this is what you've created. You've co-created this situation. How do you want to change it? So let's change our belief systems, the stories we're telling, to match our outer world, the physical space we've created, so that they're working together. We go to these workshops, we go on weekend retreats or just get away for a weekend and we get lifted up because we've been out in nature, we've hiked up in the mountains or whatever, and we feel really good. A lot of times as soon as we walk back into the house, it's like, there's my duties. There's the stuff that's unfinished. There's the person that pissed me off this morning when I left. They're still here. We have to make sure that our environment is keeping up with us, that it's supporting our growth and our expansion and the things that we're choosing to do. And I keep telling this story, but it's such a good, I think, visual. If you have your drunk uncle and you send him off to rehab for 90 days, when he comes home, you don't put him in the same chair that he sat and drank in with the same view. That's just going to feed the toxicity, feed the old ways. We need to change the environment to match him. He's in a different place now. So we need to make the environment support this new place that he's in, give him a new starting point. A lot of us, we create our homes and we've been living in them for 5, 10, 15 years. We created them 5, 10, 15 years ago where we were at then. So I'm never about like, hey, we got to spend a lot of money to updo your house, but we need to freshen things up, even if it's just moving the furniture around to get the chi settled. So the class is called What the Feng Shui. So I thought I'd start off with telling you what Feng Shui isn't. It's not a religion. And it's not interior design. A lot of people think that those interior design and Feng Shui are synonymous, and they're not. I get a lot of calls. I get referrals from the House online, that online design company. You don't want me picking your furniture. But what Feng Shui is, to me, it's a tool to interpret life, our connection to it, ourselves, our relationships to people. And that means we're here to assess the energy, right? Everything is energy. Everybody got on here that wanted to? Energy is everything, and everything is energy. And so we want to make sure that we have a way that we're seeing the energy. Yeah, we know energy because it's irritating. The jerk that just cut me off on the road, that's just an energy. It's an irritating energy, if that's the way you want to go with it. Or you could flip that energy and say, thanks for reminding me to slow down, because I just need to be a little more patient today. It's like, what? Are you kidding?
She thought what I thought you were going to say. Yeah, you could flip him off.
And
Right?
that-
Isn't that exactly what you thought?
And that's solar plexus chakra energy when you flip somebody off because you're losing control.
It makes you
we hit a nerve. Let's continue on with that.
This is myself the next time for creating you. That comes up.
You okay? You need to walk around the building. Okay.
We can never cut her off because we know what's going to happen. She'll come after us, 73 miles before that car.
So we want to be aware of the energy that we're walking into, right? We try to teach our children that, right? You got to assess the energy of your environment before you walk in and start throwing your shoes and raising your voice. Because if nobody else in the room is doing that, you need to match the energy, right? That's a really good tool to teach your children. That's just something I've ingrained in my children's head. Always be harmonious in your environment. We don't see that very often these days. People walk around in their own little bubble of environment, of energy, and everybody's, kind of obtuse to everybody else, and they're just kind of bouncing off. Nobody's integrating. Nobody's really into a cohesive kind of state where, you know what, we're standing in this line together. Yeah, it's long and it's testing me, but let's, in fact, this image is coming up. I was at the post office and it was a ridiculously long line. They were ridiculously understaffed, but the guy behind me was huffing and puffing. I mean, like literally the whole time. And I thought, you're huffing and puffing to the wrong person. I have no control over this. So we're in this together. We are constantly co-creating. I can say, you know what? I'm going to manifest $20,000 a month. This is going to be amazing because I've got my vibe going. I'm positive about it. But as soon as I get in my car and put my energy out into the collective energy, and I drive past the house that's going into foreclosure, or who are afraid of money, who have fear issues around money, their energy just infiltrated mine. That's the way energy works.
So it's that far, you can actually pick it up from that. You're in your car, you can actually pick it up.
Yeah, we have the kids today. A lot of you have, younger kids. They're sensitive to the universal energy. These kids are stressed. They have high anxiety. They don't even have to watch the news or hear you guys talk about that stuff, but they feel it because we are more sensitive than I think we want to believe we are, because we are just energy. In fact, I was at this interesting talk years and years ago, about 25 years ago, and somebody stood up and said, I was told once that I was Napoleon in another life. And the presenter just kind of laughed and said, you are everything. Because all the people that Napoleon touched and all the people they touched through the generations, we have a little piece of energy of everything and everything that's ever existed in our energy field. Whether it's a dense arm or it's my auric body, it's my breath, whatever it might be, it's just the energy of it. So to me, Feng Shui is such a valuable tool to not only interpret energy, but then to also be mindful about it. How can I, now that I see what I see or feel what I feel, now what am I going to do about it?
So
Just flip them off?
Could you do something to block this?
Mm-hmm.
Like flipping something, that would actually block something. It's like, I hate you. And that's it. Like she said, I'm done.
Yeah, in a sense.
Okay.
So the energy, she's projecting the finger energy at somebody. That's different than blocking.
Okay.
A blocking is a neutral energy. Okay. So let's talk about energy for a minute, because that kind of seems where we're going. One of the cool perspectives of Feng Shui, or the Chinese philosophy, is the Yin and Yang Theory, right? We've all seen that black and white Yin and Yang symbol. The black part is yin. That's feminine energy. It's quiet, it's still, it's the nighttime, right? The streets are quiet, everybody talks quieter at night, well, unless you're partying with Chantel. It's just a feminine, internal, contemplative energy. The yang part is masculine. The sun's up, we gotta get going, we gotta get to work, we gotta create, we gotta go for a jog. That's the one extreme to the other extreme. We live in such extremes right now. Somebody's wanting to pull you left or right or make you a non-believer, whatever it might be. There's such extreme energies. And so part of what we're trying to thrive for in Feng Shui is somewhere in the middle. Because we cannot exist in extremes for long periods of time. So if we were to look at, there's pictures on the back of that black and white handout. On the top right, the top picture is a picture of waves crashing. That's a turbulent ocean, right? If you're on a boat out in that ocean, or even not on a boat out in that ocean, do you think you're going to survive for very long? You're just not. The picture on the bottom of those three is a boat that's stuck because the water is stagnant. In fact, it's so stagnant that it's toxic now because there's stuff growing in there, so you couldn't even drink the water. And that boat's not going anywhere, so you're stuck. Can you survive in that setting for very long? Those waves crashing are yang energy. The stagnant water is yin energy. So we have to find a place in the middle, like that middle photo, where that man is on his own sailboat, controlling his own wind and water to move him where he wants to go, rather than our environment controlling us. Because when we respond, and I love flipping people off, when we respond to the energy that's coming at us, especially an extreme energy, we want to push back, right? Because that's the way we navigate this world, because we're governed by a north and a south pole. So that makes all of our choices governed by what we want and what we don't want. It's that simple. So we want to thrive or strive for that place in the middle. A lot of people call it balance. I'm not a fan of the word balance, because once things are balanced, they stop. And now they're not moving anymore. I like the word harmony. We're striving for a harmonious life so that we can adjust to the energies. It's like, oh, this friend's coming over. She always brings up my spirits. Or this friend's coming over. They're kind of a downer, but I'm going to see if I can uplift their spirits. Always striving for that middle place. So the more that we can be neutral and protect ourselves in that neutral place, rather than pulling out a gun to protect ourselves in an extreme environment, the better. So yeah, you can absolutely, there's all kinds of people that teach you how to protect yourself. I'm sure you have those kind of protection things too, where it's whether you picture yourself, surrounded by white light, or a shield, or a bubble. There's all kinds of different ways to protect yourself. Sometimes people just wear jewelry that protects them.
Just, for me, it comes to mind, just like being like Teflon, let it slide off. Not getting to you.
Yeah. Yeah, just be in neutral so you don't pick it up, because these kids are really sensitive, and a lot of times they come home and they don't realize why they're upset, and then their minds are going to try to justify why they're upset, and then it doesn't make any sense. I can remember when my son came home and he was so mad, and I said, dude, what's going on? Well, you didn't sharpen my pencil when I was 4. Really? So his mind is trying to make sense of why I would be mad right now. But he just picked up a bunch of stuff from school and brought it home and doesn't know what to do with it.
Would you say Feng Shui is a lot like Buddhist, like the Buddhist?
It has some of those principles in it, but especially the newer version of Feng Shui.
Okay.
So let's go over that. There are 3 main schools of Feng Shui. The oldest school is landform. It's over 5,000 years old. That school of Feng Shui is just looking at how your building, whether it's your home or your business, sits on the property and its relationship to everything else. The mountains, the rivers, the roads, your neighbors, what's happening. Those practitioners don't even go into your house. They're just looking at your house and the outside. Because there's certain auspicious energies, good luck energies, when we've got, we're sitting at the bottom of a funnel, right? You don't want to be at the top of the funnel, because then that means you're giving. You want to be at the bottom of the funnel, or at the bottom where the valleys come, or the canyons coming into the valley, because that's where you're going to get fed. In fact, right over here at daybreak, I don't know if you've ever looked at the aerial view of the lake. Google it. It's shaped like a dragon. It's got a big old body, and it's got legs that head off to the west, and then it's got a big neck that swings around, and a head. And the head is open to the southeast direction. The southeast is money. That's your money corner, and that's what we're going to go over in the next workshop. That area right around the head of that dragon, that is prime real estate. Even if you were to just go take a lunch and go sit and picnic in the grass in that area around the head of that dragon, you are going to absorb that auspicious energy. Now at the other end of the dragon, the roundabout at the top of 1400, where all those high-rise condos are, you look at the map, it looks like there's poop coming out of that dragon's butt. And if you've ever walked over there, you know what that area is. That's where all the filtration and that big gutter is out there. That is yucky energy over there. You wouldn't want to be in those islands in the center because that's the belly, right? That's where indigestion and filtering and stuff goes on. So you see how I'm just talking about energy? Just describing something energetically and relating it to life. So we're always looking to maximize the energy. And there's a lot of places, we've all seen them, when we're driving around, you see the business that sits empty forever, or it's got high turnover. It's landform that's bad. I guarantee it.
Wow.
Yeah. We could spend thousands and thousands of dollars on the inside trying to feng shui the heck out of it. It's not going to make a difference.
So
Because
would you ever go to someone's property and say you're in the wrong place? Or would you say, let's try to make this area better for...
I will always tell them this isn't going to support your family long term or your business long term. I don't like saying that, and I tell them I don't like saying that. There's homes I've told that have been detrimental to people's health or their marriage, and they resist, and I'll say, well, we'll do what we can. And then eventually, 4 or 5 months down the road, I get an email, we've decided to sell or we're moving. So a lot of times, though, we have to trust that we move into a place, business or home, for a reason. Whether it's to clean up some karma with a neighbor or to work through some health issues, have stuff come up so that we have to learn and grow and expand and be better people. So we have to trust that process. There's no perfect feng shui house. And if you were to text me an MLS listing or an address of a house that you were looking at, I would also want to look at your Chinese astrology chart, because I would want to make sure that it fits you and your family, not that it just looks good on the map. Okay? The second oldest school of feng shui is called classical or compass school, and that's about 4,000 years old. There's nothing woo-woo about classical feng shui or landform feng shui. The Chinese are not woo-woo people. They're very yin and yang. It's good and evil. It's good or bad. So that classical feng shui is where we apply the compass. I use an actual Chinese compass to locate the directions of your house. It also includes 8 mansions where we can discover which is your best direction to sit or to sleep, especially if you're recovering from a surgery or you have marital issues, whatever it might be. It also reveals flying stars feng shui, which is more of a predictive energy. It tells us, hey, this is the energy that's coming in this year. It's really rough in this spot, but it's really good over in this spot. That's important to know. In your Chinese astrology chart, you have 4 of the Chinese zodiac animals. And each one of them live in a different sector. And so we want to know if you are getting hit by an illness star, a burglary star, something like that, so that we can take precautions. It's no different than food storage. We just prepare, know what's happening, make sure the door is locked or that we're getting our health checkup or whatever. And then Chinese astrology is included in that. The other thing that's revealed in the Chinese astrology chart is not just the 4 animals, but the 5 Chinese elements, which are metal, water, wood, fire, and earth. You're going to have high percentages in one and lows in another. I've never seen anybody that's had a perfectly balanced chart, and I've done around 600 charts. Never seen any. I've seen a couple kind of close, but for the most part, we're imbalanced people. That imbalance that shows me your strengths and weaknesses helps me clarify what you need. You know, if you're low in water, like my mom has 0 water in her chart. So she needs the color blue and the color black, because those colors carry a certain energetic frequency in her space, as well as she needs to drink more water. This much water a day is not enough. So I'm not only making recommendations for your space, but also for your personal space, like what colors you can wear. You know, you need to be hitting the gym, getting in the pool, taking longer baths, whatever it might be. So there's all kinds of ways that it shows up. The newest school of Feng Shui is called BTB, or Black Hat. That's the westernized version. And it's been around since 1983. So not very long. And that's where the woo-woo stuff comes in. The woo-woo stuff is where we come in and it's talking about intentions. That's the big word in BTB Feng Shui. What are your intentions? You put things with intention. Like Chantel knows that that is her money corner. So she puts product in this corner of her business. Makes sense, right? She puts she's got life over there with the plant to bring life, money, abundance into that area of her life. She's got the amethyst purple and she's got the citrine stones over there, which are all wealthy stones. So that's the kind of stuff that we look at. It looks at the flow and the function of the space. This is where we get into where your couch goes and where your desk sits and all of that. It talks about color. It also brings in tradition, as in ceremony. A lot of it seems a little out there, but it's purposeful, it's intentful. There's prayers and mantras like Om Mani Padme Hum that, you know, they recite a certain amount of time, or Om Tara Tutara Tura Soha for health and longevity. This is where space clearing comes in, decluttering, Marie Kondo, that kind of stuff is in the BTB school. House blessings, that's the BTB stuff. I was blessed with getting all of those teachings all at the same time. So I layer them all. It's important. I layer the chakra system in there. I layer numerology, the I Ching. It's all in there because you never know what you're gonna, you know, what your client's gonna be into and how you can open that door to get in and kind of help them make a difference. Do you guys have?
Sorry, could you also do this for like kids? Like, so if you were to walk into a child's room and say, this is why your little girl does not know how to keep her room clean?
And it might just be her chart, and it might just be you needing to back off, getting into the power struggles and letting her be and find her independence and letting her get embarrassed when her friends come over and see her underwear on the ground. And
Oh my gosh.
you never know what it is, but it does definitely reveal in a chart. So for instance, our daughter, she has 2 monkeys in her chart. Most people have 4 different animals. She's got 2 monkeys and 2 horses. So half of her chart is ruled by monkey and half of it's ruled by horse. Monkeys really don't care. She's got a conflicting energy because the horse is more about a show horse. Look at me. Look how beautiful and strong and resilient I am. And then she's got this monkey where her room's a disaster. But then she's live streaming online and she's got her audience so that they can look at her. So that's her balance. They can't see the floor in her room on the camera.
So do you do these based on birthday?
Yes. It's such a cool tool, especially for young people.
Wow.
High schoolers, young adults, because they're all trying to figure out who they are. And when we're trying to figure out who we are, where do we go? We start looking out here. We start comparing ourselves, seeing if this is the group I'm supposed to be a part of. Is this where I'm supposed to fit in? No, we always have to come back here. We discover ourselves here. And the chart reveals that. And I don't know if the 3 of you want to speak to the charts because you've had the readings. I hear so much how it's so different. It's way different than the Western astrology, but how people resonate with it. Because you're given tools on what to do. Do you have anything, you just want to flip me off? Do you want to share anything about your experience with your chart?
So I know you just from walking in and walking out and saying hi. So then I got that.
Oh yeah, you won the free chart.
Yes. And so we finally met and it took me a while. And then I gave you my birthplace, day. Your friend figured out what time. I didn't know that. And it's like, it was like, you know me from always. It was so freaky in one way, but so cool. And yeah, and then things were making sense, and yeah, I still think a lot about it and look at my papers you gave me, and yeah, I think it was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a lot of clients that, just will reflect back. I have a lot of clients that every year at the beginning of the Chinese New Year, let's do a review. I have a client up in Evanston. She gets her mom, her mother-in-law, her two kids, and their grandkids. They all get in the room, and we Zoom, and one by one they sit in front of the camera, and I'm there for like 4 hours just updating everybody's chart for the year. Because it's good to know what the energy that's coming in, because energy is constantly changing, right? Today's a different energy than it was last week. So like, for instance, we're in a pig year this year. That pig is going to influence everybody's chart differently depending on what animals and what elements you have. Some people do well in a pig year, some people don't. And that's why they cycle. Because what if we were all stuck in a really bad place our whole life? So it gives us opportunities to grow and change and all that. So that's the schools. I want to give you just a taste of what it would be like having a Feng Shui practitioner working with you. So get really comfortable, and I want you to close your eyes. It's all safe, nobody's coming in. Just close your eyes for a little bit. Relax your body, maybe uncross your body parts. Elka, uncross your eyes. Mm-hmm.
I'm dying to.
Yeah.
Do you want an arc?
No.
Or a box. Okay.
Okay. Too relaxed. Okay. I'm just looking across body.
So get comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in through your nose and out your mouth. And again. And again. Drop your shoulders. Relax that space between your eyebrows. And I want you to imagine yourself standing in your home. Through your mind's eye, through your imagination, visualization, I want you to walk to your least favorite room. Open the door. It's probably closed, so open the door and take a look around. I want you to first take mental note of how this room makes you feel. Are you overwhelmed? Is it disgusting? Is it neglected? Is it frustrating? Is it lovely? I guess it wouldn't be lovely at Julie's favorite room. How does it make you feel? What do you see in this room? How would you describe this room if you were on the phone talking to a friend out on the other side of town saying, I don't know what to do with this space? And they said, well, what's going on in this space? How would you describe it? Take a good look around. Take note of the condition of the items in the room. Are they outdated? Are they broken? Is it dirty? Is it empty? Now ask the room, because your home is a living, breathing consciousness. Ask this room, what do you need from me? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Gabby, give me one word to describe your room.
Messy.
Messy. Elka.
Yes, I agree.
Joe.
Unorganized.
Unorganized.
Dark.
Dark. Margot, do you want another throw another word out.
Overwhelming.
Okay.
I don't know the word, but I just think that I've outgrown my house. But I don't know what word comes up with that, but it's just like too full.
Okay.
Confused.
Confused.
Empty.
Yeah, disorganized.
Okay. So when I'm with you in your space, well, here's the deal. Feng Shui literally interprets or translates to wind water. I'm a wind water practitioner or wind water teacher. Wind and water are the moving energies, right? We've experienced that the last couple days. Water, we can see the water change, whether it's the tide rising or the pond drying up or the flood, the hurricane coming, the downpour, the coming in through the doorway, leaking through the window, whatever. We can see water and its influence on us. The wind we don't see as much until we see the result of it. Like right now, if you look out, the trees are whoosh. The wind's just picked up just now. The only reason we know it's windy is because we can see the trees blowing. If there was no visual indicator of that, we wouldn't know, right? Unless we're standing in it. So wind and water translate as the seen and the unseen energy. The seen energy is the obvious. It's the mess. It's the overwhelm. It's the declutter. It's the clutter. It's the disgust in what you see, or the disrespect in the way somebody's treating that room. We can see that. That's the obvious. It's the unseen energy that we don't know, and that's my job. I'm looking at your body language. I'm listening to what you're not telling me. I'm watching you rush me up. I always look at you too. Rush me past this room really quick to show me your favorite room.
Good at that.
Because there's so much. I mean, like I said at the top of the hour, you could have a beautiful space and it could be well organized. Even you open the cupboard and they're organized. What's happening in the space though, if you and your spouse are arguing in this space all the time, there's some unseen energies happening. I'm not saying ghosts, they could be, but there's unseen energies that are influencing you. And it could be the flying stars that are in there that year. Like the South this year has a conflict star. If you have a front door in the South, a horse in your chart, or spend a lot of time in the South, you're going to have more arguing and bickering in your life this year. That's that kind of energy. That's an unseen energy. So you don't need to tell us, but I'm going to go through the compass and tell you, because once I place this compass, we find the center point of your home, we lay that down. Hers is this way. She faces east here. This is east, south, north, and west, and then the sub, and then the center. We divide the space up to those 9 sectors, and each sector pertains to a specific aspect of your life. So that room that you guys all visited just now pertains to a specific aspect of your life. And my guess is that the way that room makes you feel and the words that you're using to describe it probably reflect on that relationship that you have in your life. Whether it's your marriage corner or your job. So I'm going to go through this. So everybody identify what direction. So if you were to stand in the center of your home, kind of picture the valley and where your door faces, what corner of the house, north, south, east, west, southwest, northwest, where that's at. Are you nervous?
Give me this. Unless you're going to do it for me because I am directionally impaired.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Wait, so you're saying faces?
It does not
You
matter.
mean where the front door of that
Well, just-
specific room is at?
No, just so if you were standing in the center of your room, so if we were to stand in the center of the studio here, and say her least favorite room is the northwest. So we know that's the northwest, right,
Okay.
in the bigger picture.
And I'm facing towards my front door, facing out, basically.
It doesn't really matter what direction you're facing, you just need to know what corner your room is in.
Okay.
Do you know? Okay, so I'm just going to go and tell you which each sector is so you can identify what that room in your house is associated with. Okay?
Does it matter if it's above ground or below ground?
So if it's south, if your room sits in the south, that's your social life, your fame, and your reputation. That's how the world sees you. If it's the southwest, that's the marriage corner, your intimacy and self-love. If it's in the west, that's children and creativity and the inner child. If it's the northwest, that's your connection to source energy, spirit, helpful people, benefactors, and travel. In the north, that's your career and your life path, your journey, your individuality, how you move through life. In the northeast, this is higher learning, self-cultivation, wisdom, knowledge, stillness. That direction in the east is family, ancestors, past, present, and future. The southeast is your money corner, your self-worth, abundance, prosperity. So if you're seeing that there's a reflection, because our external space is just a reflection of what's going on in here, then maybe you need to change your story. You need to give that room the attention it deserves. You can go open a window, maybe declutter, maybe just go in and dust, maybe organize, or maybe throw some things out, just to shift the energy. Because it doesn't take a whole lot to start shifting the energy. You know how it feels just different when you just, clean out that one drawer in the kitchen, or just run the vacuum, or open the door. It shifts the energy. So I'm not saying you need to go change the whole thing today, but go give it some attention. Just go spend some time and honor that space for what it is in your life. Oh, if it's the center, it's your
I
health.
was just gonna ask that.
It's the health. It's the flow of the home. It's the hub of your wheel. So you want to feel grounded. Does that make sense?
So if it's my closet, which that's what it is, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
there's clothes that I just can't get rid of. And literally, I have a corner, and it's probably the size is huge, where I just put clothes in there that I just don't like,
Mm-hmm.
or that doesn't fit, or that I'm never gonna wear. And for some reason, I cannot get rid of that. And that, since that got there, I can't just even sit in my closet.
So, I mean, if it's something that you physically can't do, but you can say, you know what, I've put everything in that pile, I'm going to call my best friend because I trust her. And she's going to go in and pick that all up, throw it in my car, and I'm going to take it and drop it off.
Okay.
Sometimes we just need some encouragement. We need some
I
help.
have a great home for those, so if you want me to come to your house and box, I'd be happy to do it.
Okay, I take care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe like what she's saying, like if you think you're going to give it to someone that needs it also, does that change the story that you have with them also?
And that's,
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I should do something like that though. Because it's brand new clothes sometimes with tags on it.
Yeah.
We all do that, if it makes you feel any better.
No, we don't.
If you and I do that, and my friend Glenda does that.
She does too.
Okay, good. So we stage a closet audit, just like.
Yeah, just there's people out there that are professional organizers and that kind of stuff that can help you with that kind of stuff. And they work you through the emotional part of it.
And that's it. I just think it's like I could hire someone to come. I love organizing. My kids' closets is perfect, but for some reason my own and my husband's.
Hmm.
no
Yeah, it's
way.
usually our stuff that we struggle with.
Hmm.
Do you guys have any questions? I have no idea what time it is.
And it's 1:52.
Okay, so we're doing good in time. Any thoughts? Have I spurred some ideas, or am I answering some questions? Or
I actually had my office set up, and it was the east and south corner of the house, and I just moved it to the south, and I've literally, so I've been a therapist for almost 10 years, and I've been booked out for a month straight for the last probably 4 years, about 4 years. Well, I have not had, I moved my office, and this has been the first time in 4 years that I've had cancellations, and my schedule hasn't been filled. And I was like, what the heck? Seriously, 4 years. And people have been like, well, I know you don't have anything. And I'm like, no, literally I have something today. So weird. Anyway,
yeah,
and I had switched my desk. That's That's it.
Yeah, and well, and have you moved though physically into the south?
Yeah.
Okay, and so your chart might be influenced. So here's the thing, of the Chinese zodiac animals, there's 12 of them, and they sit on a wheel. And so the south is a horse energy. The opposite of a horse is a rat. So if you're a rat and you go put yourself in a horse position, you don't do the world the same. The horse is fire, free-spirited, give me my space. The rat is all internal, it's water, it's nighttime. So they're contrasting energies. So we have to be careful where we're putting ourselves. Sometimes it's just so we can learn, right? Or, well, this isn't working, so I got to reposition myself.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just the direction that might be hitting one of the animals in our chart for that period of time or whatever.
Mm.
Plus, the other thing that I would look at too is maybe it's saving you, because the south, like I said, has got that conflict star. It's keeping you from people coming in causing conflict in your life. Because whether they're coming in and maybe something happened and now they're blaming you and or they're venting or they're projecting onto you. So maybe it's a way of protecting you by not having them there.
You are so positive.
So what if your house is like, so like my living room is here, but then there's like a kitchen nook. So there's two like southeast.
Mm-hmm.
So which one do you go to? Do you go to the most southeast, like the most south and then east, or do you go to the most east, that's south?
You would want to go right to the southeast, and if it's divided by 2 rooms and a bathroom and a closet, you're going to address all of it.
It's just like it's a great room,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but the kitchen comes out. So you have like the living room, and then there's a corner, and the kitchen comes out this way, or the
Oh, I
dining room
see.
comes out this way.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, it's not.
So it's like an
this-
L-shaped house.
Yeah, I mean, just in that area.
Okay. Yeah, see, when we have a floor plan on what we do is we want to square it off. So if you might have some missing area, that might just be your yard or your front entrance or something like that. But you always want to pick the farthest point. And the reason why is because the energy is coming from outside in. So we want to hit it at the exterior wall before it penetrates the walls of our house and comes inside. So yeah, just find that southeast. And it really is beneficial for everybody to have an accurate floor plan of their space. I won't come in and do it for you because it's your space. You need to get to know your space. There's a lot of clients that have lived in their homes for a long period of time. Go walk it off. Get down in those rooms in the basement you never visit anymore. See what's in there. One of your feet can equal one little grid, one little box on a piece of grid paper. So just heel toe it and fill in the pieces. And then we can apply the compass based off of the direction that your home is facing so that you know exactly to the degrees what that money sector is or whatever sector.
But you always start in the center of your house.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter if my corner, like my southeast corner of the house, is not really the southeast when I'm starting in the center and go the 45 degrees, it might be more on the south wall, but only partial of my south wall,
Mhm.
and the southeast corner of my house is more east, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Because that's what I misunderstood in the beginning. I thought, oh, that's my southwest corner. But then when we figured out the center of the house, it's really not the southwest corner.
mm-hmm. It is,
That makes
but it
perfect
isn't.
sense,
Yeah.
It does help too, like, if you can print out, like, the floor plan of your house too, and then overlay the compass on top of that to be able to see it
Yeah.
that way, because I'm more of a visual person too, and then after we went through sector 1 in the north, and I realized after I'd done that whole sector of my house, I realized I wasn't even in the north, so just actually seeing it,
Mm-hmm.
knocked it out.
And that's what I think the 3 of you are liking about these workshops every month, is because we just focus on that one sector. And that gives you the whole month, to give it some attention, whether it's cleaning it up or getting stuff moved out or maybe painting, moving stuff around. And then you really feel the shift. Rather than bouncing all over the house, trying to do all these different cures or fix the house, And then by the time we get done, the 9 months, your whole house is done. And then the energy shifts and then we start over. Because that's pretty much what happens. See how I plan that out? So anyway, let's draw, I'll have you draw the name for the money tree. The money tree goes in your southeast sector because that's your money corner. So if you have a money tree or lucky bamboo, put it in the southeast and indirect lighting, because they don't like that direct lighting.
You said indirect?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's yours, so make sure you take it when you leave.
Learning it.
And then, just like with anything else, you want to place it with reverence or intentions. To say, this is going to bring more awareness for me around money. Whether it's my issues, my hang-ups, my desires, whatever it might be. So then from that point on, every time you walk into this space, your subconscious is triggered by the memory of that.
And where did you say, where does it go?
Southeast.
Southeast.
So it could be the southeast sector of your home, it could be the southeast sector of your office.
And you know what's funny? That's my favorite room in my house.
Lovely. That's perfect.
Does it make a difference to you too? Someone that was here on Tuesday told me that she went home and she downloaded a compass on her app on her phone and then went around her house. Is that as accurate as actually having an actual compass?
No. You can calibrate the heck out of those things and they don't. I've had 3 lined up and they were all reading differently. So you want to, I would at least go to REI. In fact, I found the same compass at Walmart. I can't remember the name. It was like a $14 compass. It's a hiker's compass. You want to make sure it has a straight edge on it. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is on the back of that blue card, I do have a YouTube video that walks you through how to do that. To create a floor plan and get a compass reading. And if you guys are interested, maybe we just do a class where you guys create your floor plans and come in and I help you apply the compass to that, and then you're good to go. That might be just some quick class that we could do if enough people were interested.
If you were going to put money in your cubicle, would you then use that scene?
Yep. You can divide any space up into those 9 sectors, whether it's your master bedroom or your kitchen or your house or the whole office building or the whole apartment complex. So if I were doing an apartment complex, I would put this over the whole building so that I could see what sector my tenants were occupying. Because then I would be really curious on who's occupying the money corner, because they better be working their butts off. They better show up for work and not lose their jobs, because whoever's living in this southeast corner of that apartment building is a huge influence on the money for the whole community. But then I would take the compass and just apply it over their unit. So there's different ways we can layer it on.
What if you sleep in your money corner? Is that bad?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
You better be on your money
Oh,
dream.
my
What if you're trying to sell your house?
There's a couple things. There's things that you can do on your own. You have to let go. That's the biggest thing. If there's any kind of emotional hook or attachment, whether it's frustration or worry, or even if you have a child, that's where their memories are and that's where their best friends are, you've got to let it go. I have a client, she's had 19 showings, not one offer, because she's waffling on whether I want to sell or not. Well, you got to get clear on whether you're going to sell or not, because make sure everybody else is clear.
That's true. My husband has been back and forth.
He has got to make the decision. I'm done.
Yeah.
And then from that point, there are some transcendental cures that I've had extreme success with. Not only on $1 million plus homes that have sat on the market for 13, 14 months, but also really bad shaped homes that are going into foreclosure. I've had people say, or been told they're never, even from psychics, you're not going to sell this house. I've gotten it sold. So houses can be moved. And I don't buy into the mindset, and I know we have realtors in the house, of, well, this is the market, it's oversaturated in Harriman, or that's a high price. I just, in fact, I have a grad, and I just had class over the same series over in Sandy just this morning, and first day on the market, open house, she had the house staged, she infused all the Feng Shui stuff in it, got an offer accepted that one day. A lot of people don't believe you can sell a house in one day.
We sold ours in 6 hours.
So we have to change our belief systems and our mindset about how things can be done. A lot of us believe that selling a house, that transaction, is an arduous task and somebody's going to get screwed. It doesn't have to be that way. Everybody can come out a winner. Everybody can come out feeling like this was a good deal. This was a good transition. So there's just a lot around our mindset that needs to be addressed first, because sometimes it's just that needs to shift. I have a client, his second house that I've helped him sell, $1.4 million, Willow Creek Golf Course, sat for 14 months, and I didn't know. I just happened to drive by and saw the for sale sign. So I texted him, I said, why haven't we done the sell your house cure? I don't know, why not? He says, well, this was Monday. He says, I'm going to Mexico on Wednesday. I said, I'll see you there in the morning. Bring these cures that you have and let's set them. So when I got there, the house is not staged, it's empty. I set the cures and I said, I feel like I need to walk through the house. So he hung out downstairs. I walked through the house and I was like speed walking. It was such fast energy and I was out of breath by the time I got done. And I said, we have got to slow the energy down in this house. If I'm moving through this house this fast, people are forgetting about your house this fast. They're out the door quick. It's before it gets dark, we need to get on to the next, because people that are buying that kind of home, they have hectic lives, right? So they're trying to cram in to see a few houses in a day or in a night. So I said, we need to slow the energy down. You need to bring in a couple swivel chairs to put right here in the living room. Huge windows and views of the Wasatch. They can swivel around, see hole 10 in the backyard. Let them sit for a minute. There's no place for them to even rest. Give them a reason to stay longer. And then when we were out in the driveway, getting ready to leave, I said, here's what I want you to do. You got to let go. I know you've lost a lot of money in this house. Your contractor's always over budget. There's things that they did in this house that you didn't really agree on. You got to let that go. Any money lost, any of it, frustrations. So I said, when you get to Mexico, at his new house down there, I said, I want you to wade out into the ocean and I want you to let all this go. And then dunk yourself under the water and let the wave pull it out. So I gave him about a week and a half. I hadn't heard from him. So I shot him a text and I said, hey, how was Mexico? Oh, it was amazing. I did what you said and I couldn't believe how it felt in my body. This guy's a finance. He's a broker. He's not a woo-woo guy. And then he said, oh, by the way, the house is under contract. A lot of it's just us. So get on your husband. Let this thing go.
Yeah. I feel like he's like now to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But
even the
wasn't.
frustration part, he's got it,
Yeah. And I am too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm frustrated just for like the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just need to let it go. In the last like week I've been telling myself just be positive. Just be positive.
Mhm.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Because then like you said, like my kids feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Do you know where you're moving in California? Do you have the house picked out? You know where you're going also?
we know the area. We chose not we stopped looking at houses because ours wasn't selling.
Maybe that's.
So I mean I look like probably every day on Zillow.
Well,
But I don't want to get my hopes up. Like there's so many houses I'm like, oh, I love it. But we have no traction on our house.
yeah, and just be careful with that kind of energy and how specific and everything you're being. Like we sat down and wrote a letter of how we wanted the whole transition to go when we sold our house out here in Harriman. You know, what kind of neighbors we want. We loved our neighbors. We wanted them to have good new neighbors. The first we got really quickly we got an offer. The guy was a jerk. He was nitpicking everything and he was just a jerk. And I was feeling really bad. We can't have this guy living next to these people we love so much. Well, his financing fell through. And it took a lot longer to sell our house, even though I had all my Feng Shui friends in that house blessing it and putting cures. That was one of the intentions I had written, though. I wanted good neighbors for our neighbor. The family that finally bought our house moved back here from out east. They came to the house and found out that they're cousins with the neighbors, and they didn't even know each other. So sometimes it's just in the timing. It's just, you have to trust that bigger picture. As frustrating as it can be. It's just the right family needs to be, maybe they haven't sold their house yet to move into your house.
Yeah.
Because we are co-creating. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do is, between the Tuesday's class and this class, I'm combining your names off of this list, and I'm giving away a 4-pillar reading, which is the Chinese astrology chart. Okay, it's an hour-and-a-half reading, and I give you some recommendations from that. Chantel's had it done. I've kind of done yours, but you had another practitioner do yours. Elka, if you want more information. If you don't want it, then gift it to somebody. But it's an insightful information. So I will pull that tonight. When I get everybody's names, I'll have my daughter or somebody pull it. Oh, one more thing. The red envelope in your pocket. This is a good luck. The red symbolizes protection and celebration. So a red envelope, one thing you can do with the red envelope, like Chantel has one up above her door here, put increments of 2, so like 2 $1 bills, 2 $20 bills, 2 $100 bills, or a letter of or a note of intention or dream, like maybe the house. Put it in the red envelope and put it above your door. Just put a little piece of tape, roll it up, and just put it on the ledge and hold it up there. So it's, the pretty side is you're looking at it. Put that up there and then just leave it.
On the center, on the side.
In the center, yeah, I put mine in the center. I have seen some doors that they're lined with red envelopes all the way around.
And this is your front door?
Mm-hmm. Or it
So
could
you're
be
looking at it inside the house or outside the house?
inside.
So this is on, you're looking at it on this.
Yes. You could put it on the door of your office if you wanted it on your home office or something, since you have the 2. They're just really beneficial. I've heard tons. We don't have time for me to share the red envelope stories of people put those up there and all of a sudden they get a check they were never expecting, or they get a raise, or something gets paid for that they don't have to put money out for. It brings money luck. So it's a very beneficial. I just keep my money, my cash in it. When people pay me by check or cash for my consulting, I keep it in a red envelope to protect the exchange, the energy exchange between us. And if you come to my Chinese New Year celebration, we put money in the red envelope and feed the lion for prosperity luck.
Should it be the other way so you can see the gold on the outside?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were supposed to do, I apologize, I thought you were supposed to do multiples of 8. Every
2.
Chinese New Year, I get these, by the way, you can get these at Chase during the Chinese New Year, they'll give them to you.
Mm-hmm. And Asian City has them.
I used to just put 8s in here because that's what I read. And that's what I
8
would
too.
give to my grandchildren. But 8 was supposed to be very lucky.
8 is the infinity, right? So it's coming and going, and it's still increments of 2, right? So as long as it's not an odd number, you're okay. Do you guys have any questions? I'm so glad you came and were curious enough, especially you, Joe.
I was going to add, when Elka was talking about her chart reading, the first time she came back to class, she was like, okay, when did you allow Tina to sneak in my house and put cameras up so she'd know how I am and how I interact with Joe in my house when we did that chart reading?
Yeah, it's crazy. And we're moving my office, and so I told my boss, I need either face east or south. And he just looks at me. When I started there, so the last walk through the office, I said, where would I sit? And he looks at me, I said, I need to face east or south. And he's like, okay, you can sit here.
That's great.
That's awesome.
You guys are welcome to look through the workbook if you're curious about that. Those are for sale I think on the back of my blue card. I have an Etsy store. So I do sell practitioner tools and tools for just anybody. Like even this card is on there that also walks you through how to get a compass reading. So if you see something on the Etsy page and you want it, just text me or let me know or email me so you don't have to pay for shipping. I'll just bring it to class or get it to you. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Your cards. I was thinking you're going to have a stack of cards again.
Of the sigils?
Those, I don't know, whatever, the wisdom cards.
Oh, no, I don't. Don't have wisdom cards.
I'm on Saturday. Right? What time is this class on Saturday? It's 1:30 to 4:30, right?
Mhm.
Saturday. I have to be at the football game, which starts at 2:20. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, then, you know, if you can make the next one, then pop in for the next one. But I'll send you the link to that. And then, like I said, Firehorse66 is the email address that it's coming from. So check your junk folder or whatever tonight, so you don't miss it.
If I hang these up in my office,
Mhm.
where do you have something else that I can give them with like a link to sign up, or like if one of my clients are interested?
Yeah, let me,
What would be
if
the
I
best
gave
thing
you,
to refer them?
if I sent you like a PDF file or a JPEG file that just had little squares that you could cut out, or a little square that you could cut out and just paste over the top of that,
I could do that.
you want to do that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Do you want, I've got a stack here if you want a few of them.
Yeah. I'm up on like full rooms and.
Okay.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yes.
I'm going, right? Let's go back to my closet, right?
Do we have to?
No, because I wonder, like, does that affect the whole family? Like, does that specific room in your house
Mhm.
that is not so bueno, does it affect the whole house? Or
Yes.
does it affect just you?
What affects you, what you affect everybody in the
So it's
house.
like a domino effect?
Well, it affects everybody because it's occupying that space of the house. So it's like if your child is just in the marriage, like our daughter sleeps in the marriage corner. That just doesn't affect her. That affects us as well. What she does in that room, the mess, affects us as well.
Okay, okay.
So the cleanliness of it, if it's decluttered, if it's neglected, all of that is resemblance of that relationship or that aspect of your life. So it affects everybody. Same with the office. If you work on a whole floor downtown, you could have that one jerk in the corner. He's affecting the whole business, whether it's his attitude or just how he conducts business in that office. It's a reflection of the whole business.
Okay.
Sorry,
No, it's
but maybe
good.
that'll be a good motivator.
Seriously, I'm like, because, you know, it's my closet, or my husband's in my closet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it should only affect us too, but no. Okay.
Mm-mm.
That's where it all works together too, like the once a month events that we do where we break down each sector. You know, like maybe I was so looking forward to that last sector that we did, but I haven't even got at that space because I feel like I'm still cleaning up the others, you know, sector 1, 2 first. And then I'll have that done before we meet next Saturday. So it all affects, you know what I'm trying to say, before and after the ones that we go through, but then also,
You always can go back to
you
it.
can go back to, but it just gives you more clarity as to what's really going on in your life right now that you want to address before you dive deeper into, like when we're going right into the abundance, yeah.
And it's just weird because for me, I can organize every single closet in my house. And if you were to open up every closet in my room, they're perfectly organized. The one
Mm-hmm.
is shit. Sorry.
What corner is it in, Gabby?
It's the west side, which is my kids. And that's what keeps me awake at night.
Mm-hmm. So when the chi comes into your house, I always picture it like a puppy dog.
Okay.
So if we were to open the front door of your house and the puppy comes running in, where's it going to go? Right? It's going to go to what's spinning and making sound, or what smells good, or to a pile of clothes, and it's going to bury itself and just sit there and play in that, or under the bed, whatever. We want the chi, or the puppy, when it comes into the front door, to move freely through your space. When there's a pile of stuff, the chi gets stuck in there. So not only are your clothes there, but the energy is stuck in there. It's not moving. It's not flowing through. So that's what we want, is to keep things moving. Nothing under the bed.
Is the garage a part of the house?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you do what I'm saying? Like,
Is my husband a part of my family?
I'm just saying, 'cause it's like, you don't ever go out there, like, I don't know. But,
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's
So
a good.
I would, like for me, it's like I don't go and clean the garage. Like
Mhm.
I don't consider it part of like the inner circle of the house.
Yeah. A lot of it depends on your floor plan,
Okay.
you know, in how, if it's under the same roof line and that kind of stuff. Some of it we can cut off if it's like a 3-car garage or something. There's ways to get around it, but most people, most practitioners will say include your garage. But I'm all about breaking the rules because I know them.
Thanks.
Thank you, you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon.
I didn't think it was.
You got my contact in case you have any questions. Good.
Seriously, that's.